we feel like we don't have the agency to take charge of our own story. And today we hope that our talk and the journaling exercises that we're going to do with everyone today will help us learn how to deal with this and make us stronger women. And yeah, I'm super excited to hand this over to Lauren.
So exciting! So many women in one room, and my dad is a man of women. But Dad, it's great to have you here. Thanks for hanging with us. Because I used to spend so much of my time at the courthouse in that corner over there, trying to figure out my life, as I'm sure some of you do occasionally. And what I've learned is that you will never stop, even when you're out of college, sitting in a coffee shop, trying to figure it out. So that doesn't go away. I know. I was one of those girls that was a dreamer. I still am. I mean, I live in Los Angeles. You know, I just have so many different interests. So the idea of coming up with one job after college that you're going to spend so much of your time in was really, really scary to me, because I kind of had this set plan for my life. I was a dancer growing up, and my parents always said that if I spent half the time I did dancing, I would have had a 4.0, which they're probably right. I loved dance. It was like my number one first love, and it was one of those things where I knew I probably wouldn't be a professional dancer, but it was, you know, the thing that I wanted to spend my time doing. I felt really creative in that world. And when I came to college, I didn't really have an outlet to dance anymore. So I had a mentor of mine who encouraged me to enter the Miss America pageant. That's kind of what I spent my college years doing. And the idea of a pageant was very daunting to me, to my family, my Middle Eastern family, by the way. But I wanted to continue to dance, and I would have gotten to do that with my talent portion of the competition. And they had this whole philanthropy aspect that kind of drew me to it. So I spent a couple years in the organization, and there were parts of it that I really liked, and there were parts of it that I felt were, you know, just not me. I didn't really feel like I fit in. And then when I hit my junior year, I represented IU at the pageant at Miss Indiana, and I was a runner-up. And so then my senior year of college was really like gun-ho, you know, you have to leave Miss Indiana next year. The pressure was unbelievable. I don't even think I really enjoyed my whole senior year of college, because I was living and breathing preparation. And preparation, I mean, you'd be surprised. Like, I felt like I was going to join politics. Like, it was every current event question I needed to prepare for. It was a 10-minute interview with 5 random strangers, 5 random judges. You have this pressure of not only representing your school and your peers, but also the state. And so it was like, okay, if I'm Miss Indiana, like, that's going to be my job. Like, I would probably be living in my parents' house if I had won. I would have probably been making no money, but in my mind, it was bigger than that. It was my purpose. I really believed that that was the thing that I was kind of being called to do after college. So when people asked me, you know, what are you going to do next year, it was kind of an awkward question, because I thought I was going to be Miss Indiana. Not very normal. So I, you know, want to start by asking you if you've ever experienced a moment in your life where you really wanted something, and you kind of thought that that was a thing that you were supposed to get. And then later down the road, you understood and you were so grateful for the fact that it didn't happen. So raise your hand if that's if you've ever experienced that. I think every single one of us have. And in the moment, it's devastating. It kind of feels like, well, why? Like, what is the purpose of this? Why am I experiencing this now? Until you know, go 2 weeks from now, or sometimes it takes even years later, and you really understand that that thing not happening for you is greater than if it had happened for you. So that's kind of been the theme of my life, because living in LA, I experienced rejection, I experienced more no's and more things not happening my way, more than I ever thought I could. Long story short, I kind of told you about my post-grad dream that I was going to be this representative of Indiana. I was going to go to the Miss America pageant. I had it in my planner that it was going to happen in September. But before that, when I was in college, I had spent a summer from my sophomore to junior year in Los Angeles. I made a PowerPoint to my parents and I asked them if I can go to Los Angeles by myself at 19 years old, and they were like, you can't. And then I just kept asking, and I kind of came up with this plan. I found this online course at the New York Film Academy. It was for 8 weeks. Because there were classes involved, they said yes. So I was like, okay, perfect, education, yes. It was an acting class course. So I had never acted before, but I had always wanted to be in the entertainment business. That was something that I was very interested about, but I didn't know too much about it. So I went to Los Angeles for that summer. Flash forward 2 years from then, I graduated college. I obviously did not win Miss Indiana. I remember it's like you prep so much for one night, and then the night comes and you're like, and it's just over. And I was like in my evening gown. Elena got me Chick-fil-A, and I was so happy. She got me Chick-fil-A and Jimmy John's, I think, too. In that moment, it's like you prepare for something for so long, and I think anybody who's ever prepared for any type of competition, wedding, I mean, I don't know what it is, but anything that you've ever prepared for a long time, and then it comes and it goes, and you just have almost like a relief, like it feels like a weight off of your shoulders. And even though it's very daunting and very scary, I was so happy that I got to finally start my life. And I didn't know what that was, but I came back to Bloomington that summer, and I was just like, okay, well, let's think about all the things that I am good at. I was always someone who, again, grew up in a Middle Eastern household. Both of my parents are from the Middle East, and the sciences were very big in our home. My dad's a doctor. My older sister is going to be a oral surgeon. She just got accepted into this great program in San Francisco. So smart. And I was kind of surrounded by that my entire life. And so I felt like my strengths as a creative, as someone who loved to dance, as someone who loved to communicate with people, as someone who loved to do makeup and like dress up and put outfits together, that it wasn't the level of what a doctor would be or what a lawyer would be. So my parents kind of figured pretty early on, because they sent me to this medical camp when I was 16 years old. The best part of the camp, like, you know that you're not supposed to be going into medicine when everyone was like assigned a place to go. So like, for instance, there was like, some kids went to go watch open heart surgery and they were so excited about that. And then some people went to go watch knee replacement surgery and they were so excited about that. And I put number one on the top of my list, going to the retirement home. And everyone who thought going to the retirement home, they were so upset. They were like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to talk to these people all day, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, I don't have to watch surgery. So that's when you know you are not the leader. I made a lot of friends that week. I had so much fun socializing. And yeah, I mean, I came home and told them I knew I didn't want to be in medicine. And they were like, okay, no problem. You can be a lawyer. You can be a great lawyer. You can write, you can read, you can talk. So when that didn't work out, being a lawyer, they were like, okay, no problem. We got it. You can be a psychologist. And I was like, okay, you know what? I think I can do that. So I was a psychology major. And I went through school, kind of changing my major between psychology and journalism. So when senior year came, and I still thought, well, maybe I could go to get my master's, I still had this deep longing to go to California. And it was kind of a secret, because I didn't want my parents to fall over, but I think they knew that it was probably coming. And so I didn't pick psychology. I didn't go to get my master's. It's still, I know, Mom, I know it's still a possibility. It's like, what I ended up doing was I picked a date on my calendar, August 10th, 2016, and I just told myself I'm buying a one-way ticket and I'm going. Like, I'm just gonna go. And when I got to California, it was just like a culture shock. I had been there, for a summer for a visit. I got there and the first thing I did, I didn't really know what to do, so I walked to a grocery store and bought a banana. So fruit's good for you. I had to grow up in a secluded place where I didn't know anybody other than one or two people from school. Everything was just harder. Even driving somewhere, running a simple errand, everything was just so much harder. So I learned very quickly that if I was going to stay there, if I was going to survive Los Angeles, it was very much a marathon and not a sprint. So the next step was to find a job. So what I did was I was, from Indiana, applying to a bunch of different things, but it was very difficult doing that from somewhere else. A lot of times they tell you have to move, if you want to work in the city, you got to move there and then find a job. I didn't have a job yet, but I was in the process of applying for the NBC PAGE program. So if anybody knows what PAGE programs are, it's this, a lot of the studios will have them. And it's like a postgraduate internship where you basically make coffee runs and walk people to the restroom, and you wear suits that say NBC or CBS. It's very, very strict, but it's like paying your dues to get into the industry. So I was in my I had to do rounds of interviews for this, by the way, for coffee runs and things like that. So I was in my second round of interviews at NBC, dream to get into NBC and work for NBC. Ultimate dream was to work and be a host for the Today Show. So I thought, well, if I'm in an NBC page, I knew so many other hosts with NBC who wore pages as well, so they'll take me under their wing. Perfect. Don't worry, Mom, I've got it all set. Didn't happen for me. I didn't make it to the final round. So then a friend, I found a church in Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard, and this girl that I met, she was from Chicago, from the Midwest. We bonded over that. And she was like, don't worry, I work for CBS. You can be a part of CBS's PAGE program. Perfect. Still kind of the same thing, but different company. So that's what I did. For the first year, I was a CBS PAGE. I don't know if any of you are familiar with PAGE programs really, but you have to wear a uniform. So the first day that I worked, they handed me this oversized man jacket. It was huge. I'm 5 feet, so it was big. And then they handed me a big, oversized, white button-up shirt. And then my mom flew over to see me because I was struggling a little bit. And we went over to J. Crew, and they said, you have to have black pants. And I was like, Mom, can we get pants from J. Crew? I need to, somewhat look like a woman. So we went to J. Crew, we got really cute pants, and I went into my first day at CBS, Television City, and talk about full circle moment, realizing that everything that you thought you wanted, that you thought you were dreaming for, is not what you were meant to have. That's exactly what happened. My very first day of work at CBS, I worked The Late Late Show with James Corden. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that show. But it's a talk show. So I literally would watch talk show hosts, which is what I came there for. I wanted to be a talk show host. It was this dream of mine that I had. I watched him doing his monologue. Meg Ryan was the celebrity. I'd never been around celebrities before, so Meg Ryan was the first celebrity to talk. And I remember just being like, wow, I wonder who did her hair. I wonder what her skincare regimen is, even though now I know what it is. It's probably Botox and learn a lot when you live there. I know all about it. So she was the guest. It's just when you work the shows, this is kind of how they instruct you to work as a CBS page. You're there to take care of the guests. So you work in guest relations. This is the fancy term. And so me working in guest relations was making sure the guests had everything that they needed and that they enjoyed the show. But then when it came time for the actual show, you just kind of sat back and watched. And so it was a very interesting job, especially when most of us had moved there to work in the entertainment business, because you are seeing everybody around you do what you want to do, but you're doing a lot of observing. So you're learning, you're seeing the producers, and you're seeing the talent. For me, it was watching the talent and the hosts and the actresses. James Corden gets up there to do his monologue, and I want to read you, because I looked up the YouTube video the other day. I want to read you what he said. Very first thing that he says is, last night the Miss America pageant crowned its 94th winner. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be there. Yes, they did. And like, I'm in my, like, just envision it. In my big jacket, CBS Entertainment. In my big jacket, just like, I wore red lipstick that day too, because like, I wanted to be seen. So I'm just kind of like, whew. And then he says, there were lots of excitement, plenty of surprises. And James Corden is English, for those of you that know. And he says, the biggest surprise for me was finding out the facts that Americans still do this. And everyone starts laughing. Literally, everyone in the room is like making fun of this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. No, this is America? Like, no, not me. I felt, talk about imposter syndrome, talk about like just feeling so out of place. But in that moment, it was crazy for me because I had spent so many years dreaming of representing Indiana, dreaming of like this job that I actually did not want deep down. And in that moment, I kind of realized like, you know what, I think I would rather be the girl in the CBS uniform at this studio, not really knowing what I'm here for, but figuring it out, than the girl in the evening gown who's walking across stage. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't think that was ever me. It really wasn't. Like, I played this part and I tried so hard to fit into this very cookie cutter box. It was not meant for me. And I just kind of sat in that moment like, wow, like, well, I don't know what I'm here for, but I'm just gonna trust to continue with this job. And when I say that the job was humbling, I mean it. Like my job, every single day I work on The Price is Right. So I became like the main page for The Price is Right, which sounds super exciting. But every morning I would wake up at 6:30. I would walk over to the studio. I would greet the guests who came from Montana, Idaho, and everywhere else because their dream was to be on The Price is Right, and they waited for this moment for their entire life. And they were screaming every morning because like the excitement was real. They were going to party that day. They were going to win a trip. They were going to win money. And yeah, so we had 2 shows. It was about 10-hour days. You get paid minimum wage. And I was just kind of like, okay, like this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm doing. So my preparation for that was I treated that job like, you know what, even though I don't get to be in front of the camera and I don't get to host or I don't get to be on a commercial shoot being a talent and I'm in this fabulous uniform, I'm gonna be the most welcoming person at CBS because I don't know what these people have experienced in their life. This is probably so exciting for them. So I would show up to CBS most days with a smile on my face, just trying to give it my best, just trying to really, every single person that I met, like it was an opportunity to connect with them. That's what I came to California for, was to connect with people and was to learn about myself. So why would I be bitter about it, you know? But nonetheless, I'm so grateful for that first job because it really taught me, 1, to humble myself. 2, sometimes you will not enjoy your first job out of school, but it will teach you so much about yourself. So long story short, about a year later, I stuck it out for a year, and then I went freelance. And I, at that point, had gotten some more opportunities in the hosting world. I would work at CBS every day, and then at night I would go and submit to projects because I just wanted to be on different sets, even if I was like an extra for a movie set or if I was just doing something small. I wanted to learn as much as I could. So I would have people cover my shifts if I got booked for something, or I would, on the weekends, I would work on my blog. I'd meet with photographers. because I learned that when you want to be in the hosting world, it's not the same that it was 10 years ago. I wanted to be a traditional TV host, and 2018, 2019, it was no longer that way. You needed a social media presence, you needed to be on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, you needed to have some sort of reality TV show and be an actress and, you know, run 10 marathons to be a TV host, it seemed like. So I would take class at night, I would be there from like 7 to 11 at night, and everyone just said, Branding, create your own brand. So that's what I did, created my own blog. I saw the rise of the bloggers. You've all seen it on Instagram. And it's very intimidating, a lot. Like, I'm sure when you get on your phones, all you see are photos of bloggers, of reality TV people, kind of overwhelming. And living in Los Angeles, you see it going to the coffee shops. Like, they are literally shooting in the corner as you're like sipping your morning coffee. It's insane. So I realized, okay, I need to create my own brand. I'll do that. I'll create a blog. Perfect. I can make a successful blog. 2 years later, I've still been building my blog. It takes a very long time, but on the side, I was kind of building this. I would leave CBS, I would work on that, and then I would also do the hosting jobs. My first hosting job coming off from being a dancer was at So You Think You Can Dance. I don't know if you guys watch that show, but it's on Fox. Also, full circle moment, when I went to that first hosting job, having just left CBS, they ended up having the show at CBS. So I walked in the doors at CBS, always wondering with my little page uniform, like, when will be the day that I can walk in here with normal clothes, one, and two, as a host, as what I came here for. And it didn't about post-grad life. And now I realize, like, it really was almost, all those worries came from nothing. All those worries came from fear. It came from thinking that, just living in self-doubt. I've learned in my life when I've taken a risk, when I've started or ended anything in my life, that's when I needed to be more brave, when I needed to step out of my comfort zone. My whole mantra living in LA when I moved there was, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Because I had grown up in this very comfortable life. I have great parents, and they took care of me. Everything that I needed in my life, they have been there for me. And so moving to LA and taking that risk, I knew that when I left Indiana, I was leaving back comfort. Like, comfort was gone, and I needed to learn how to have thicker skin. So, you know, I've learned a lot in the last few years, but what I really want to leave you guys with tonight is just the risk that you will be taking in your life, whether you are literally like getting in a relationship or breaking up with someone that you need to break up with, or starting a new job or moving to a new city. Like, those are all beginnings and those are all endings, and those can be very scary. Like, trust me, I know it's terrifying. I feel like I'm starting and ending something every like 3 months of my life, and those are all really scary moments, but you have to trust yourself. And most of the time we think that we have to make a decision and we don't know like what the right decision is. Like, our gut tells us what's right. When I was 22 years old, and I knew in my gut I wanted to move to Los Angeles and I wanted to work as a television host. I knew that that's what I wanted to do, but my fear told me that I wasn't going to be good enough. And when I even got there, I really realized that like a lot of friends that I was making who were actresses and also hosts, when people would ask them what they did, and they were just starting out like me, we were all in the same position, I would say, oh, I work at CBS, while they would say, oh, I'm a TV host, or oh, I'm an actress. Like, they like lived in that truth. Whereas I was experiencing the imposter syndrome, because in my mind, I wasn't a full-time host. I hosted on Monday nights at So You Think You Can Dance, and then a year later got to host for other shows, but I wasn't full-time. I didn't work for NBC, so just even coming from a space of like the Midwest, where it's like, this is the category you're placed in, like, oh, I went to IU, oh, I majored in this. We live in those identities, and we tell ourselves, like, this is who I am. I'm that thing. So I encourage you guys, as you go into the workplace, as you go into your next year of school, like, let all of those identities go. and just think about like who you are. Like, what are your strengths in your life? What are the things that you're passionate about? Because your strengths is probably going to be different than the next person's strengths. And if there's one thing I've learned is that comparison has been the thief of all joy. And I think everybody can attest to that, because comparison for me, I live and breathe it every day, and it's in the palm of my hands. I live in an industry where numbers tells me like what successes I have and what successes I don't have. Literally, the amount of money you make sometimes as a blogger, most of the time as a blogger, depends on how many followers you have, how many likes you have, and your peers, your, I guess, sometimes coworkers, because sometimes we'll work together. You're comparing your numbers with their numbers, and it can feel so suffocating in that world. And I know outside of that world, if you don't even live in it, just getting on social media can feel so exhausting sometimes. So when you live in comparison, it will totally steal your joy. So I just want to remind you guys, when you are working or when you're even in school, like, don't look at the person next to you and think about their strengths, because you have your own. And your individuality is what's going to set you apart. It's what's going to make you you. It's what's going to just propel you to live a happy life, because there's something in each one of us that is so special. And I think it's so easy to lose sight of that. There have been ups and downs and all of that, but I think as long as you just keep going and keep reminding yourself of your worth, that you're gonna make it in whatever you do. So, yeah. When it starts to enter your mind again in the future, replace it with things that you wrote down that are true and that are positive, because no more. It's 2019, it's a new year. We're putting that in the past. We're putting the lies in the past. We're moving forward. We're going to be the best versions of ourselves. So we're going to throw these things away now. So when buckets come around,
Come on.
throw it away.
Throw
Make it
away.
out.